Hey, welcome back to my channel, friends. This is the third part of a series about shared element transition and how to do it in React Native by using the React Navigation v5 and React Navigation shared element. I was inspired by Eugene Galota. He created this beautiful carousel animation plus a shared element transition. And I will show you my way of doing it in React Native by using the Animated API, React Navigation, and Fling gesture handler from React Native gesture handler. Before jumping into VS Code, I'd like to thank you all for supporting this channel. It means a lot to me, and especially to Jaiman, Moi, Olvera, Adrian Carballo, Lionel, Daniel S., Colin Vren, Simon, Chadrahar, Hermand, and Eric for becoming Patreons and supporting me on a monthly basis. I've already coded all the challenges, and to get access to the source code, you need to also become a Patreon. So the link to what we are going to build and how to become a Patreon is down in the description. So thank you all once again for the whole help that you give. And now let's play the intro, jump straight into VS Code, and start building the third part of a shared element transition in React Native. Shall we? Alrighty guys, so we are in VS Code here, and I've created a project. I've created the screens for tutorial number 3, so we have an entry point here, and it's going to transition to the list itself, and then we have a button that's going to the details. And I've already styled the details. Basically, we have a view here, and with three different components. So let me go and walk you through it. So we have the height component, which is this component here displaying a title and then a number, and the distance component, which is basically the same, but it's displaying a small number for kilometers, and then the avatars, which is a view, and inside I map through some dummy avatars which I've created here in the travel up list. So I have here some dummy avatars created with Faker, and I'm iterating over this list of avatars, and I'm displaying an image. And what I'm doing here, I'm basically inverting the z-index. So the first one will have a bigger z-index compared to the last one. So because how this is working is, as deeper as you go into the tree, as bigger the z-index is. So without this decrement of the z-index, actually this is avatars length. So without this hack, basically if I remove this, the first one will have a lower z-index compared to the last one, and we wanna we wanna invert or reverse this order. And now I can hit refresh here, go to the app itself where we have the navigation, and the initial route should be travel up list. So we will start from the first one. Let's see if I misspelled it. So it's tutorial number 3. Okay, so tutorial number 3 is the default route. And what I would like to do is first create the carousel with that really nice animation. I already walked you through how to create this stack type of animation, but we will do it again. And by the way, the link to the previous video will appear somewhere on the screen, so you can check it out and follow it out. But let me close this one and also the navigation because we don't need it. And here in the list itself, so here on this screen, we would like to start by doing creating a flat list. So remove this touchable and use a flat list. So we will import flat list. the data is going to be the trivial up data. And the trivial up data, let me show you here, is this data here. Basically, I'm mapping through all the Unsplash images which I grabbed, and I'm returning a key, an image, and a name. The name of the mountains are here, and I'm taking one by one, right? And here, if I hit save, it's okay. Now we should be good to go. Okay, nothing is visible. So now we have the data. We would like to pass a key extractor, item, and then item key, and then we'll like to display the item. So take the item, return a view, and containing an image and maybe a text, right? So text. So we'll have here a source of URI, item, image, and the style of styles image, and here inside I'll have styles name and then the name of the mountain. So item.name. And view, it's not defined, so let me import the view from React Native. And okay, great. So we have those names here, and we need to create the styles for the image. So image, and then the name. For the image, we'll have a width of item width, or image with height of image height. We will apply a resize mode of cover, and then a border radius of 16. So we will have this, and the image width and image height, it's the width, it's 86% of the screen width, and the height, it's that value multiplied with 1.5. So we can create this this pretty nice effect. And for the name, I'll do text transform uppercase. We'll apply a color of white, a font size of 36, and a font weight of 900. Okay, now let's wrap this into a touchable. Opacity. We know that we would like to move to the next screen, right? So we'll have here on press. It's just a dummy on press for now. And now let's style the items. So in order to make this positioned absolute, we need to modify the cell renderer item. So we will have here a cell renderer component, right? We will get the index, item, children, style, and the rest of the props. And here we will return a view containing the children. We'll pass the index, the props, and the style. We'll have a new style. And for the new style, why we are doing this? Because we will position all the items absolute, and we would like to reverse the Z index. So the new style is going to be the style, right? So the new style is going to be an array, and here we will do a Z index is data minus data length minus index. So basically we will decrement the Z index, and then we also need to align the image to the center, so we'll shift it by half of his width and height. So left is going to be image width divided by 2, and top is going to be image height divided by 2. And now in this way we modified the cell renderer component, which is basically the wrapper for our render item. And this is complaining because we need to do the trivial up. All right, and now inside the renderer we need to say the position is going to be absolute, and for the content container style we'll do a flex one. We will align items to the center and justify the content to the center as well. So we will make this full width and height, right, and position them absolute. And I think that this absolute positioned, it's doing the trick. So without it, you'll notice we don't have anything basically visible. And now the text should be contained into a view, and we'll position this absolute as well. We'll go bottom, let's say 20, and left 20. Great. And now you see, since this is everything inside the flat list, we can't actually move to another item. To do that, we will use the fling gesture handler and also create the stack effect. So the whole safe area view here should be wrapped into two different fling gesture handlers. One is going to be for direction up and one for direction down. And inside it, we will save everything, right? And now we also would like to disable the scroll for the flat list because we don't care about it, right? And for the fling gesture handler, we have a key of up. We'll have a direction of directions up, and we'll have on handler state event change, we'll get the event. We will do if event native event state it's equal to states, and we would like to so if you move upwards, we would like to increment the index, right? So increment index, and we'll apply the same for the down. But now let's create the animations and also the state, so we will keep track of what's actually happening, right? And for the state, we'll use the active index and set active index, which is a React use state starting from 0. And for the animations, we will use the reactive type of animation. So we will need two different animations. So let's create them. So we'll set active animated index. It's equal to a React use ref and a new animated value starting from 0 and get the current. And we'll say reactive animated is the same thing. So basically we will modify the animated index based on the reactive animated. So we'll say here in when component is mounted, it's mounted, and we would like to have no dependencies, so run this only once. We'll like to say animated, and animated, I think it should be from React Native, right? We'll say animated timing. We would like to change the animated index and go to value, whatever value is the reactive animated, with a duration of, let's say, 300, and we will use the native driver for this example, and we'll start the animation. That's it. So now when we set the value for the reactive animated index is going to change. And actually we can do animated value without any complications. And now here inside, we also want to increase the index from the state and also set the value for the animated. And to do that, we can use the use callback hook from React. So set active slide, it's equal to a React use callback. We'll get the new index, and we will do set active index with a new index. And we will also like to set the value with a new index, right? Great. And now here inside the end method, we would like to call the set active index with the index +1. So basically moving up, we'll increment it. But first we would like to check if the index is equal to travel up length -1. So basically we are at the end of the list. We don't want to do anything. Just return, right? Otherwise increase the index. And now we have everything, and we can apply the same thing for the down this time. So down, and instead of checking if the index is equal to the length -1, we check if it's the first one, and if it's the first one we return, otherwise we decrement it. So if I hit save now, and with this set active index, it's set active slide, sorry for that, with this animated value being changed whenever if they're flying up or down, we can animate the slides. So let's go here inside the render item, also get the index, and here create the translate y, and also the input range. So the input range in our case is going to be index -1, index, and index +1. And for the output range, like the translate is going to be the animated value. We will interpolate it past the input range. And for the output range, is going to be -30, 0, and 30. So if we can convert this view into an animated view and apply the transform, so transform translate y, and hit save now, we have a typo here. Now you see the items are moved up. So if I swipe to the top, index is not defined, and that's because it's index actually, and set index. Actually, it's what I did. It's here. I need to check for the active index instead. So active +1, and the same here. So now if I hit refresh, if I move my finger up and down, you'll see the list will move as well. And now we also need to cap the visible items. So let's create here. We have created here a visible item. So this is the number of items that we would like to show. So with this number in mind, we can apply a different opacity for each item based on the active index. So to create this, if we go here where we define the translate y and apply an opacity, it's going to be animated value. We'll interpolate it past the same input range. And for the output range, we will have calculate the number of like the opacity. So 1, we'll start from 1, but we will decrease it by 1 divided by visible items. Then going to be 1 and 0. So basically what this is saying is decrease the opacity if you're going further away from the active index. So we can apply this opacity as well to the main container. And in this way we create this beautiful effect, right? And now if I move up, the next item will be here, 0 opacity, and so on. So we move this really nice. and we also need to scale the cards. So scale is going to be, let's say, 0.92, 1, and 1.2. So we can apply again the scale to the transform. So now the active will have a scale 1, and the rest further away will have a smaller size, and because we didn't clamp the interpolation, they will continue to scale. So now they will also scale. Okay, so the next thing is to actually, now that we have the carousel, let's apply the shared element transition. And we would like to transition the image and the text, right? So the only thing that is left is to wrap this into a shared element transition. So shared element, pass an unique ID. So ID is going to be item, item key, and then image. And apply the same styles. So styles.image. And also import the shared element transition. And copy this and wrap the text as well, right, into a shared element transition. And this time the ID is going to be name. And also remove this. So now we have both text and image are shared element transitions, and we need to inform the detail screen, hey, those are the IDs that you need to transition. So if we go to the travel up details and scroll down before exporting this, if I go to detail, let's go to the list and copy those properties here and go here and do travel up details and apply the shared elements. We'll get from the route params the item that will pass while pressing on the button, and based on it we'll transition the image. It was image, right, and name. And now the missing part is to actually send the it happens. Now the missing part is to actually send what is the actual active slide, right? And the problem now, which you'll see in a minute, is that because all the items are positioned absolute and they are not removed from the view, you'll press on the same item no matter what. But let's stick with it for now, and you'll see in a minute what I'm talking about. So we'll get navigation and we'll navigate to travel up details and pass the item, right? And now if I go to the item, like going up item, right, this is working seamlessly. But now if I go to the travel up details, we need to also render the item and the name. So from the route here we'll get the item from route params, and we can display here the shared element. So shared element, is this imported? Yes, and an image. So the source of the image is going to be, actually let me copy this exact thing. So we have the image, right? It's going to have a width, a height, and a resize mode of cover. So we have this shared element here. So if I hit save, the image will fit or stretch the entire screen. And now if I go back, hit refresh, if I move to the detail screen, we will transition the image, right? So we have this pretty nice effect. But you see, it's, even though I'm on Fuji, if I press on it, it's going to be the first image. And in order to fix that, instead of passing the item, we need to get the item. Instead of sending the item, pass the travel up by the selected index. So active index. Now if I hit save, if I go to the second one, it should transition the second one, and so on. So we know which one is active, even though all the items are visible, right? Now let's also transition the text. So if I go here, copy this text and put it here inside. So we'll have this Fuji, and I think that I can also create here a style of padding, horizontal of 20. So we'll get this nice effect. All right, and now if I hit refresh, you see that the text is like really stretching, and the reason for that is because this view from the detail screen doesn't have the same styles, and the position of the text, it's kind of centered, right? So we need to align the items to the flex start. And now if I hit save, now this is going on the same direction. And another trick here is for the text to be scalable. So if let me go to a bigger mountain. So Kilimanjaro, for example, you see it doesn't fit. And in order to fit it into a single line on the text here, you can assign a number of lines, 1, and adjusts font size to fit. And now if I hit save, this will fit into one line no matter what. So it's going to shrink down the size. And we created this beautiful effect. And of course we can apply the same style to the slide itself. So this is also scaled. We can also increase the size of this. But the remain part is to actually animate, because you see now it's like a glitchy effect. So we would like to animate everything, like from the theme, distance and height and the arrow after the transition has finished. And we will use the animatable for that. So if we go here and import animatable from React Native Animatable, we would like to animate everything from inside this, like this view, which contains the icon and also the linear gradient. I would like to animate it. So we'll have an animatable view, and again an animatable view here, and the list which contains your theme, distance and height should also be animatable. So this one is the view, right? And for the bottom, we can create an animation of fading with a duration of 800 and a delay of 700. And also pass the ref here. You'll see in a minute why. So bottom ref, and apply the same for the top view, basically, right? It's top ref. The animation is going to be fading with a duration of 800, but the delay it's going to be like 600, let's say, right? And top ref and bottom ref are not created, so top ref, oops. So top ref is going to be a React use ref, and the same for bottom ref. So bottom ref, right? And now we have those elements, and they will be displayed. And this initial animation is going to work out of the box no matter what. The thing here is that I would like to fade out and then move back. If you press on this button, I would like to fade everything and then go back. And in order to do that, we needed those references. And what's nice about this, so navigation go back. When we go back, we can take the top ref and current, and fade out, and here this is an animatable method, right? And we can pass, let's say, 1 second, and this is a promise. And we'll also like to animate we would also like to fade out the bottom one, so again 1000, and those two are promises, so we need to wait for all, right? Both bottom and top, right? And then we can navigate back. So watch out what this is going to happen. So it's going to fade out both top and bottom, and then it's going to transition to the previous scene, you see? But because this is like really a fade out animation, we can move it faster. So this will create this effect, right? And I think that we can move it even faster, or you can avoid waiting for the animation and just directly do navigation, go back. But there are ways to wait for all the animations. Now this is async, so it doesn't matter. It's not going to wait for anything, but it's just creating this beautiful effect. So if I revert everything, I can do here 300 and then go back, right? So wait 300, fade out 300, and then go back. So that was it, guys. It was again a long tutorial. I hope that you've learned something new and you can apply it in your existing projects. Also, don't forget to check the link to the Patreon page in the description if you'd like to become a Patreon. It's going to also help me out a lot. If you have any issues, don't forget or don't hesitate to leave a comment here in the comment section. I'll do my best to answer all of them and help you out as much as I can. Don't forget to subscribe, smash the like button, and without further ado, see you in the next video. Enjoy it. Bye.